2024 has been an insane year for gaming. It seems like every week I was playing one of my new favorite games. But tell me if you had this reaction when you saw 2024's Game of the Year nominees. I don't care about any of these games. Hey everyone, Jarek here, and the styles of games we enjoy on this channel simply won't be nominated for an award, let alone win Game of the Year. So, let's make our own Game Awards show, with Doom Guy and first-person shooters only. Here are the pointless awards I'm going to be giving away to make us feel better. There's only 2 rules. The first one is that I have to have played the game. I can't judge a game I've never played before. So if you think a game should have been nominated but isn't here, I probably just haven't played it. The second rule is that a game can only win 1 award. That just makes the video more interesting. Best graphics. There's a few games I could have considered here, but this one goes to the most recent game on this list, Stalker 2. Stalker 2 has a massive world, a full day-night cycle, a full weather system. I can get lost in this world for hundreds of hours. There's so many anomalies to see, so many bandits to loot, there's just so much to do here. It does have horrible optimization, but that's not really what this award is for. Best art direction. Reminder, art direction is not the same thing as best graphics. In this case, best art direction goes to Mullet Majak. I'll let the game speak for itself. That's the intro of the game. Yeah, you just don't really see this kind of stuff anymore. Best music. I have the first honorable mention here, and that goes to Echo Point Nova. I was quite surprised with this game's soundtrack. There are so many tracks with so much variety. It ranges from peaceful tracks when you're just exploring islands, to jungle with lots of drums, to upbeat electronic. It's great, but unfortunately for Echo Point Nova, it came out the same year as Angerfoot. Yeah, this is the easy best soundtrack of the year for me. Adaptive music makes a game so much better, and this music absolutely nails the chaos of what's going on in this game. Best co-op. I was actually going to give this game best graphics, but there really wasn't many co-op games, so this game de facto won that award. And since a game can't win more than 1 award, here we are. And this game actually isn't even a first-person shooter, but I think it fits these awards anyway. That's Space Marine 2. But yeah, you probably could have guessed that one. This game looks gorgeous. There's so many enemies running at you at once, and somehow the game never lags. I don't know how it runs this well with all the chaos going on. In the aftermath of Space Marine 2's launch, I heard a lot of people complaining that there's not enough content and the campaign's too short, and I'm just sitting there going, these people did not grow up during the 360 era. This feels like a 360 game, and that's a good thing. I miss this. But yeah, this is easily best co-op game of the year. Some of the best action of the year. I had a blast with this campaign. Mod of the year. I actually have 2 honorable mentions here. The first one is Half-Life Delta Particles. This is an extremely high quality, full conversion mod for the original Half-Life. It takes place in what feels like an alternate universe next to Black Mesa. It has entirely new weapons, an entirely new story. If you want to know more, either go play it yourself or watch my video on it. Doom 3 Phobos Episode 3. Doom 3 Phobos has been a long ongoing project, and every episode is pretty much a mod on its own. It's high quality, and frankly, we don't get enough Doom 3 mods, so I'm always down for something like this. Also, if you think the Doom 3 shotgun sucks, well, they totally redid the model, they gave it a tighter spread, and then they reworked the map so it wouldn't be overpowered. Also, you're wrong, the Doom 3 shotgun's good. But mod of the year goes to Half-Life Field Intensity. Now, this mod technically came out in 2022, however, it saw a big update this year, so I think that's good enough. Now, I've actually not made a video of field intensity yet, but I've played it on my own, and I cannot give this mod enough praise. Valve could release this mod as an official expansion to Half-Life 1 right along Blue Shift and Opposing Force, and I wouldn't question it. You see yourself cross paths with all the other games so often, and there's so much stuff to nerd over if you enjoy Half-Life. It also helps that the core gameplay is genuinely very good with really good set pieces. Again, I cannot praise this mod enough. From amazing mods to disappointment of the year, I don't like giving this award out, but someone has to win it, and I have 1.5 honorable mentions this time. The first one is Into the Radius 2, but this doesn't really count. It's an early access, the original game was amazing. I could not reasonably give this award to this game. It's going to end up being good, it's still in early access, that just wouldn't feel right. Everything is there, they just need more time. It was released a little too early. This next one definitely deserves Disappointment of the Year, Phantom Fury. Ion Fury was a hit. People loved it. Phantom Fury is an unfinished mess of a game. The core combat loop just doesn't feel satisfying. You'll find yourself getting lost more often than you should, which is impressive because it's a linear game, let alone the devs calling content creators stupid behind their backs and saying everyone hates the game because they're just listening to their favorite content creator. I am not sure how I avoided that mess. No one seemed to talk about me there, which I am happy to not be involved. But it's still not Disappointment of the Year because there's one that's worse. X-Defiant. Oh my god, did this game disappoint me. If there's anything Call of Duty needs right now, it's competition. I thought Call of Duty was back with Modern Warfare 2019. I did genuinely enjoy it, and it kind of felt more like old, slower Call of Duty to me, but that is not the direction Call of Duty went. If you want the old-style Call of Duty experience, you have to play either the old games, or what I have going on in the background, Iron Sight. Again, free to play on Steam, I have to plug it somewhere. But Ubisoft advertised X-Defiant as a classic Call of Duty experience. And then they cloned Black Ops 4. Why? Nobody was asking for Black Ops 4. People didn't even like Black Ops 4. Yeah, so let me get this straight. You want an old-fashioned Call of Duty experience, so you add in slow time to kill, a lot of movement, and make it a hero shooter. If they didn't advertise it as classic Call of Duty experience, yeah, maybe I could just say, alright, well, it's just not my thing, but that alone would annoy me. However, the game itself also just wasn't very good. X-Defiant is bleeding players even though it's free. Granted, it is only on Ubisoft's launcher, which is dumb. Put it on Steam already. But there's a reason it's bleeding players. It's just not very good. I've seen a lot of dumb people saying the game is not doing well because skill-based matchmaking doesn't exist in the game, but no, if it was good, it would be doing fine. Old Call of Duty games didn't have strong skill-based matchmaking, it did fine. The game just isn't very good. Okay, let's talk about something that'll make me a little less disappointed, and something that I actually enjoyed, non-FPS honorable mention of the year. Now, I know this is an FPS awards show, but semi-frequently I get a comment that says, why do you only play first-person shooters? Why are you so close-minded? Play something else, open your mind. But the thing with that is that I do play more than first-person shooters, just my channel was built on first-person shooters, so no one watches anything else. Once your channel gets run on something on YouTube, you're kind of pigeonholed into just making that content. The subscribe button isn't a, I like you and want to see more of your content, it's a, I like this video and only want to see this video and nothing else. Anyway, if you know me, you know I'm really big into Rivals of Aether. In fact, I've been running the local Portland scene for the last 9 years. I've run majors and regionals and monthlies. I competed in the game at a high level for that entire time. I just really like the game. And this year, Rivals of Aether 2 came out. This is a fantastic platform fighter, and I just wanted to shout it out. I really enjoy this game. I've already run 4 different events for it alongside monthlies, and the game only came out last month, so yeah, I'm pretty deep into it at this point. Also, if you're about to leave a comment saying, well, how do you know if nobody will watch your videos if you don't experiment, if you don't post them? How would you know? Maybe they'll take off. Well, that's because I have. I posted a review of Rivals 2, didn't really do well. Posted reviews of Ori, didn't really do well. Trust me when I say I'm pretty stuck into first-person shooters on this channel. It's still my favorite genre, so I guess it could be worse. Surprise of the year. This one you've definitely heard of. Pal World. Now, this isn't a surprise in the sense that we didn't know it existed, it suddenly came out and was very good. No, this is a surprise because it just seemed like a shitpost of a game through everything we saw up until release. And then we played it, and then it was actually good. People seem to advertise this game as if it was Pokemon with guns, but it really didn't play like that. It was more like Ark meets some Pokemon elements. Doesn't stop Nintendo from trying to sue them because Nintendo continuously proves to be the shittiest company around. Worst game of the year. This one is really easy. Black Trail. Black Trail is such a bad game that I gave my left controller permanent stick drift. Games became almost unplayable. You see, sprint was push in on the left analog stick, but it wasn't toggle, it was hold. So the entire time you're playing the game, you're shoving in on the left analog stick. And yeah, index controllers are not cheap to replace. These things are like $150 each. Thankfully, I have an amazing friend who said, hey, I have a spare index controller. If you want it, I can just send it to you for free. Brett, if you're watching, thank you. Anyway, aside from the bad controls, the game just isn't good anyway. You know when people are upset that they can't play VR games, so they come up with any reason to say VR isn't worth your money and it's actually bad, and they talk about every VR game as if they're just gimmicks? Yeah, well, this game is the kind of game they would be thinking about. It feels like a VR game that came out in 2016. It's very outdated. And even if it wasn't a VR game, it has horrible gameplay mechanics and bad level design. Oh, and cool, the menu is broken now. I can't select anything. Gotta restart the game to get that working. Alright, I'm back in the game. Oh, for fuck's sake. Force stealth? The worst kind of force stealth? If an enemy spots you at all, you just lose. Even if he dies a split second later, and no one else would know, it's an instant fail. If you kill an enemy next to another enemy, it's an instant fail. Oh, cool. Real cool. The menu broke again. I can't do anything. I have to restart the game. Again. The amount of people that have achievements for beating the later levels is so small that people just haven't played the game that far. They gave up. It's not good. Boomer Shooter of the Year. This one I actually wanted to give Best Art Direction, but it was by far the best Boomer Shooter, so I had to give it this award. Forgive Me Father 2. Yeah, aside from having just a crazy world with crazy designs and amazing animations, the actual gameplay was such a big step up from the first game. Now, I play a lot of games on this channel, a new game every single week, and I make a new review of a game every single week, so it's rare that I look at a game and go, I want to keep playing this after I finish the video. This was one of those games. If the first game didn't wow you, I would urge you to try the second game anyway. It's a big step up. Half-Life of the Year. This one actually has an honorable mention. Vladik Brutal. This game was made by a single person and was very clearly inspired by both Half-Life 1 and 2. In fact, I called this game Slav Life because it really does just feel like Russian Half-Life. There's so many parts of this game that are just blatantly Half-Life 1, and there's so many parts that are just blatantly Half-Life 2. In fact, if we were just judging the first half of the game, this probably would be Half-Life of the Year. But it really falters on the second half, so I couldn't really give it this award. Instead, I'm going to be giving this award to Gavark. I feel like most Half-Lives copy Half-Life 2. This game copies the original. Hell, they even managed to have a chapter that feels like On a Rail be fun. Yeah, it just has that Half-Life 1 atmosphere, being stuck in this industrial complex, needing to escape, and everything going to hell around you. It came out in 1.0 this year, and I would highly recommend. VR Game of the Year. Now, I need to mention that there's still one more VR game to come out this year, but Game of the Year Awards was yesterday, so I kinda have to post this video now. That game that hasn't come out is Alien Rogue Incursion. I'll just put that one in the 2025 Game of the Year Awards, so keep that in your mind a year from now, if you remember. If I remember. I hope I do. But VR Game of the Year for me is very easy. It's Metro Awakening. I've seen a lot of people not like this game for a lot of reasons, and every reason I've read just made me say, okay, so you didn't play Metro then. I'm sorry, I just can't agree with a lot of the complaints I'm seeing about this game. I loved it from start to end. This is a linear storytelling game. If you're too impatient, you need something to shoot at every 5 seconds, this game is not for you. It is extremely atmospheric, it is slow-paced, the combat is slow-paced, it is unnerving if you don't like spiders. What's really interesting about this game is that it did what Metro always had done. The original Metro was like if you made Stalker a simple linear shooter. Metro Awakening is like if you took Into the Radius, a Stalker clone in VR, but turned that game into a linear storytelling game in VR. We've gone full circle, it's actually kind of crazy. But here we are, the big one, Game of the Year. And if you've watched my streams, if you listen to me talk at all, this shouldn't be a surprise. It's Sulaco. I had been looking forward to Sulaco for a long time. I played the demo a few years ago, I think, at this point, and yeah, I knew it was going to be good right away. Sulaco is heavily inspired by the original Fear. It took the best elements from that game, but made it its own game. This is not a clone of any game that came out in the early 2000s, but is definitely a game of that era. The things they were able to do with the GZ Doom engine was just insane, because there were certain things you needed to do to fit that era of gaming. AI was a big one. If you're inspired by fear, you need good AI. And I don't know how they managed. The guns feel loud and punchy, and the shotgun is oh so satisfying. And the map design gives you room to move. I could sit here and ramble about Sulaco all day. Instead, I'll just point to the video and say, go watch that if you want to know more. Also, go buy the game. It's really good. Hey, so there's my Game of the Year awards. Big thanks to my YouTube members. They get to watch my videos early. They probably saw this one like a month early. I was stockpiling videos for a while. I keep YouTube memberships pretty cheap, so if you want to check this out, it's right next to the subscribe button. But if you enjoy my content, then just watching videos also helps me. Huge playlist of stuff over there. Video that YouTube thinks you like over there. Subscribe right here. Thanks for watching. See you next time.